Oh yeah. Hello everybody, I'm Richard Holder and welcome to the channel. As you can see, I'm at Westech Performance, and the reason I'm here is a trophy 4-cylinder Pontiac. Now you might be asking yourself, Richard, what is a trophy 4-cylinder Pontiac? I'm glad you asked. It's exactly half of a 389 V8. You know, the very famous V8 that they use in the Pontiac GTO. Well, way back, they said John DeLorean and the other people that were working on this engine project, we need a 4-cylinder, but we also need a 4-cylinder that will run down the same assembly line as the V8. So use as many V8 parts as you can. That's exactly what they did. They basically took half of a 389 V8. It uses the V8 head, the V8 valve cover, the V8 push rods and rockers, you name it. They used front cover, as many V8 parts as they could, but they made a 4-cylinder version of that, and that's exactly what this is. From 1961 to 1963, they produced this motor. They used it in the Tempest with a transaxle. Very, very cool stuff. I always wanted to test one of these because I think it's really, really cool. I ordered one off eBay. They told me, yes, this thing has compression in all cylinders. Maybe their definition of it having compression in all the cylinders is different than mine. Maybe they spun the motor by hand and felt it with their finger and said, oh yeah, it has compression. Actually, it had no compression in any of the cylinders. A couple of the rings were stuck. So let's find out first, can I get this motor apart and back together and get it running? And if I can, let's put it up on the dyno. You might have had a blown head gasket there. You need to check this thing and make sure that it's not warped. Time for a razor blade rebuild. Right off the bat, I don't like this. This, no, the bearing looks good, but the cap is labeled 3, and I just took out piston number 1.
Isn't that how they do it?
Yep. That's how the gangsters do it. So we've got a ridge, and I need a ridge reamer. And unfortunately, I don't have a ridge reamer. But actually, I do have a ridge reamer. Oh yeah, I will. Basically what I'm gonna do is just kind of chamfer the edge to see if I can get the ring to, you know, slide up over the ramp and come out of the hole. Let's see. Like a glove. Sometimes you just gotta do it. She's got some nice crosshatch. Still see the groove where we took the ridge off. Dude, that's mint. That's minty fresh. Especially compared to what it was. Oh yeah. So I think we figured out why this thing has such terrible leak down. Took a look at the factory ring that came off the factory piston. You've got 127 thousandths ring gap. That's ring gap for boost. A lot of boost. We're gonna put a new set of rings in. We got another set of Hastings rings here. So put new rings in. Got all the rings taken off, here you go. Put new rings in. We've also done a quickie ball hone on it. You can see, got a nice pattern in all the cylinders. So we'll put it back together and keep our fingers crossed. So now we're gonna put the new rings on the pistons. You can see we've already got it on 2 of them. These are all the old rings. So we got our top ring, got our second ring. Put on our oil ring first. Boom. So what I like to do, put a little oil all over the piston so that it slides nicely in the ring compressor. This one's from Total Seal. Take it over to the block, pop the piston in. Now put on the cap and then do the same on all the others. So we're going to see if we can't use some valve grinding compound. Stick it on the valves. Try to get a better contact patch, maybe seal them up a little bit. Pass through the exhaust. All part of the Richie razor blade rebuild. So you can see it's a lot better. It's not perfect. There's still some issues right in here, but it should seal up a lot better now. Time to put the pan on. So even though this is already run, what I want to do is put some oil in the lifter and between the lifter and the camshaft, even though everything's already broken in. I just like during first startup, a lot of times we'll take the distributor out, spin the oil pump so we get oil up and everything. This motor's really old, it's run a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour oil into the lifter and then between the cam and the lifter, and then hopefully we should just be able to start it up. Push rods are next. Make sure to oil the tips both sides. So you can see I've cleaned the rockers. We've got this pivot ball here. What you want to do is make sure that you get oil in there. A lot of guys use grease. You can use oil because the thing is only going to be running on oil. So put oil in between here and here when you put this in, and then you can install the rocker. I like to put a little dab of oil on the top of all the valves. So now that the rocker's in place, I'm going to fill this full of oil. Get oil on all these. Down in place. Now we just got to put the nuts on. First thing you got to do is drop one of the nuts. It's always awesome. So I think I forgot, on this Pontiac, we're not adjusting the valves. All we're doing is tightening these down. They bolt down, there's a shoulder on that stud. Just thinking it was like every other small block. Makes it quick and easy though. Let's check and make sure they go up and down. Some of them are collapsing the lifter a little bit. That should get better as we put oil pressure in this thing. So we shall see. Fingers crossed. Okay guys, trophy 4-cylinder, sometimes you win and sometimes you get like second or third or fourth place. I was really excited about this. First of all, I was depressed, and then I was excited, and then I was down again, because here's what happened. I got the trophy 4-cylinder. It was not a running motor. I took it all apart. It had 100 and something thousandths ring gap in it. I was able to unstick the rings, put new rings in it, ball hone it, get it back together, do a Richie valve job on the head, and got it all back together, and we got it up on the dyno and ran it. It then fired right up. It wanted to run. It wanted to be alive. It wanted to be happy. It wanted to do all kinds of great things except make power. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. Here's the curve again. You can take a look and see what's happening. It's basically just falling on its face at high RPM, and by high RPM we mean 37 or 3800 RPM, but I think actually this thing's down on power the whole way. Now we've tried lots and lots of different things, so here in the comments, you guys make some suggestions on some things you want me to check. I'm gonna have Sanchez come over, we're gonna dig into this thing more. What I think I'm going to do is end up getting a V8 like HEI distributor and putting it in here so I can eliminate the points as a possible situation. The other thing that I'm thinking about, although this is such low RPM, maybe that this is a valve train problem. I've checked that as well. I checked the valve lash on all these, make sure all the lifters are going up and down. All that seems like it's working fairly well. I took the valve spring off. It's got 110 pounds of seat pressure, which should be more than enough for what we're trying to do in the RPM we're trying to run. So let me know in the comments what you think this might be. But here's a list of things that we checked. First of all, we changed dwell. We swept dwell both directions. We changed timing. We swept timing in both directions. We checked jetting. We swept jetting in both directions. We tried different plugs. We tried resistor plugs. We tried non-resistor plugs. We tried different plug gap. We tried a new cap. We tried, obviously, new points. We tried a new, let's see, what else? New coil. We tried running the coil with the resistor and without. Like I said, we've thrown lots and lots of stuff at this, and nothing seems to change the power curve. I tried readjusting the dyno thinking something was going on there. It's none of that. So let me know what you guys think. We're going to keep attacking this thing. I will get this thing running right, and when I do, another video coming your way. Armature holder, make sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. I'm going to jump back on this trophy 4-cylinder and find out what's wrong.